Hey guys, we're back. But yeah, I'm gonna talk to my sister about possibly getting it for either Christmas as a Christmas gift or just possibly just getting it and then not ask for anything for a while until Christmas. I'm gonna look it up later because I found it on Amazon, but I want to see if it's still there. Because if it is, that'd be really good. It's a bit pricey, but I know my sister. I hope my sister. I'm gonna tell her that I'm gonna use it well, and I'll ask her. I won't ask her for anything after that. Hell, I'll tell her I'll order less for Christmas just to get this, because it's really, I really want this, because it'll definitely benefit the channel and my brother's channel. And I also believe it has a camera function. Like, it has like a lens, bro. So we can turn it into a camera. But it wouldn't even matter. Because we got the Kindle, so it doesn't matter. We can just get another Kindle if this one dies. And they're cheaper. We'll just use the screen attachment thing for Switch and other stuff. What else? I've been watching a lot of like D&D recently. Not a lot, but like I've been following this one guy called Rustage. You might know him, you might not. He does a D&D with a group of these other YouTubers you may know as Teching 101, Too Spooky, Lost Paws, or Noble, and then Briggs, or Briggs ADA, or just Briggs. Yeah, those guys, I've been following them since their first D&D campaign, and it was so good. It's a One Piece D&D campaign, where they did it with pirates, and then the one I'm watching currently is where they're doing it with Marines. They also doing an Isekai one, which they did alongside One Piece D&D, the first one. And that one is also really good, because it's kind of like it's like Records of Ragnarok, but also like in the style of an Isekai D&D like thing. If you think about it, it's like in the style of like an RPG. So Dungeons and Dragons, but if you added like real world like characters like Jesus, Genghis Khan, Blackbeard, those kinds of guys. But it's really cool because there was this character called the Balloon Man, and he was fucking funny. He's literally a clown made out of balloons, and I think they killed him. I don't know did they kill him? I don't know, I gotta go back and watch Isekai now. They did kill William Shakespeare, though, because he was a member of their party, and one of the player characters, instead of saving him, decided, let me use his his half-dead body as a fucking weapon, and decided to bash his head into a fucking enemy. It was so brutal. I remember watching it for the first time. I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, the person is the Shark, run by another YouTuber known as Daniel Green. Pretty funny dude. He's a really funny dude. I love him. He's really funny. His character has gone through, like, several arcs, and it's crazy. There's also been so many random reveals about his character, too. Because originally his character starts out as a loan shark from Chicago during the... What era was it? It was during, when they just...
Great Depression.
The Great Depression. It was during the Great Depression where they banned a lot of things, and the crime rate was high. So, like alcohol was pretty much banned, but not cigarettes. Or actually, were cigarettes banned too? I can't remember. No, cigarettes weren't banned, but I think alcohol was specifically banned for a long time, and the cartel would distribute it to different people and stuff like that. I mean, the mafia. Sorry, mafia. Cartel is Mexican or Spanish. Okay, bye, buddy. Letting my cat out. But anyways, and then it turns out, I'm trying not to spoil too much because I want you guys to go check it out. But essentially, we find out a lot of interesting facts about this character, and Daniel Green's character is the shark. And then there's Schwabati, which is a friend of Rustage. He's also in the Isekai campaign with Tekking again, Tekking 101, and Briggs. And then they're two separate characters. Well, actually, Tekking is two characters, but that's enough. That's, you gotta watch it to figure out what happens and how he ends up being two characters. He starts the campaign as one character and then continues it as another one. I won't go too into it because it's very spoiler heavy what happens. And it's very tragic. It's very tragic. Yeah, and then one of their party members, I think, ends up being the dog that had the old man at the train station in Japan. They end up getting that dog as one of their allies. And since one of the party members can talk to animals, he ends up talking with them and basically join their party. For what reason? Again, I'm not gonna spoil because you gotta watch it yourself, man. It's so good. I try to get my buddies into watching the D&D campaign, but they're just... I think one of them was interested enough, but the other one was just kind of meh. He doesn't really like long D&D campaigns, I guess. He doesn't really like D&D. Or he probably did, he just wasn't interested in the one I was watching. He tried joining at one point when we tried to do our own D&D campaign at school, but he wasn't interested. I actually made a D&D campaign. It was an anime isekai D&D campaign, so it was actually one of the wildest ones we've ever done. It was a short one too. It would have been... It would have been enough to be a one-shot. And it was really cool. One of my buddies who I'm really close with still, and I visit to this day, it's Sasquatch, from my channel. He sometimes comes on my channel to do stuff with me. And we've been high school buddies for a long time. And he played as an Avatar character. I played as a One Piece character with a devil fruit that basically could copy any other devil. I basically had every devil fruit in existence. And I had to sit down and write all my abilities and explain to him how they worked in certain situations. And I came up with some pretty creative devil fruits. Pretty creative ones. if I played now, I would definitely be more creative than I was in high school. Because high school, I'm like, oh, I want the big and flashy ones. I wasn't really thinking logically about ones that would be useful in certain situations. Why'd I exit out? I'm fucking stupid. Why'd I exit out? I don't even know why I did. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, fuck it, I'll do that level later. Let's go. So anyways, and then my buddy who co-hosts the campaign, so I would make the characters and such, but he was the DM. And so we would both go back and forth on certain things that were okay to do, or if we had to go back, I had to go back and edit some characters. I would go back and edit like some characters. So I made all the bosses, I made all the NPCs, I made all the loot that you would get off the NPCs, and then we would agree on, we would roll the stats for each character and then for each NPC or boss, and we would determine like that. I planned the story ahead, but we never got that far. One of the people we fought was a pirate, and I forget his name. But essentially, he was going to come back later in the story as a cyborg, and it was going to be wild. And then we had this, like, one of the beginning of the arcs, we had to sneak in to this mansion of this fan-made Dragon Ball character. It was like a gay Goku. He was like an evil gay Goku. And so, how we did it, how we got in, was my buddy... He also was playing a character while DMing, and he was a Dragon Ball character. And he pretended to be the delivery man, and I was the package. I was a dildo inside a package. So... Yes, I was a dildo. Let me just explain myself. So... We realized he was gay, so I'm like, hey, why don't I just use a devil fruit to transform into a dildo? But may I mind you, we were doing this in the classroom, and so my teacher's like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? I bet you that's what he was thinking, but he's like, whoa, keep it chill over there, and I'm like, sorry. And so, it got worse from then. We had to stop afterwards, like, stop doing that D&D campaign, because our teacher basically banned us from doing it. But if we could go back and finish it, that would be fucking dope. But that friend, sadly, I haven't kept in contact with. But Sasquatch, I have. But this friend, he has his own YouTube channel. I don't know if he still uses it or not, but it's Draco's Cave. I don't know if he still uses it or not. But, yeah, he was a great DM, and basically how we defeated this enemy was I pulled an Ant-Man from Infinity War in the comics. I had him shove me up his ass, and I grew really, really big until he basically imploded. Until he exploded. Yeah, it was messy. We died so hard because it was so funny. Because we were teenagers. That would be funny. You know, there was a point where my character basically gone crazy, and I was the chef of the crew, and I started feeding my crew, like our party, like the enemies, our dead enemies. So I was feeding them dead corpses and flesh. And one of the characters was so oblivious that he just believed everything that I was saying, and my buddy the other one would be like, yo, are you sure you're not feeding us flesh? I'm like, nah, it's not flesh, even flesh. Yeah, the other person was just, and our other party member was so convinced that I wasn't doing it, so he just didn't question it. It was a wild campaign. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta use the restroom. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to use the restroom. Alright. So anyways. You know what I want to talk about? My favorite anime. And trust me, I have a lot. I can't put them all into a list, but I can talk about a few of my favorite ones. I like One Piece. I like Dragon Ball. And Dragon Ball Z. I just like the Dragon Ball as a whole. OG Naruto and Shippuden. Not Boruto. I don't like Boruto. Gintama. That was a good one. I love that series. Another one is Bobobo. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I like a lot of gag anime and stuff like that, but I also like some really serious ones too. Like this current one I'm watching, it's called Fate. Is it Fatal Frame? I gotta recheck it, but it's essentially an isekai about this guy who gets summoned, and he basically gets dumped by the goddess, and his whole goal is to kill the goddess. It's very similar to Moonlight Fantasy, which I watched both, but The one I'm watching has CGI. It's not bad CGI, but I don't understand why they're using CGI for some parts that are really not necessary to be using CGI. Like, they're using CGI for a lot of the walking scenes. And, like, a lot of the... Not combat, but, like... Yeah, they're not really using... They're using CGI in the parts they really don't need to be using CGI for. It's like they can't decide if they want to go, like, animation or CGI, and they're just using both, and I don't understand why. It doesn't have to be all CGI. I just don't get what they're doing. But again, okay, let's get back on topic. That anime I like. What else? Konosuba was one I got introduced to by some high school friends and middle school friends. I didn't like it at first, but then it kind of grew on me. So I kind of like that one. What else? As you can tell, I'm a big buff for isekai, but I do like some other ones. What's another one? Orin Host Club. Yes, that's a good one. I love that one. I watched it all with my brother, and we both enjoyed it. We loved it. What's another one I watched? Squid Girl. Squid Girl. I can't say I enjoyed it. Actually, I did a little bit. It's alright. Looking back, it's not terrible. Did I say One Piece? I'm a big One Piece guy. Like, big One Piece guy. I got into it in middle school / high school, and I'm all the way caught up. Just because I was watching it every day up until now. And I've been watching a lot of reviews and manga stuff, so I already know what's going on. I know all the characters, stuff like that. So I'm not really far behind on what's going on in One Piece. A lot of people get intimidated by the amount of episodes, but let me tell you something. In the next video, I'll see you guys later.